The mid to late 1960s was known as the golden era for three-sport star athletes and championship teams at Reading Memorial High School. And during the era, there is no one athlete that epitomized that athletic versatility and winning performance while displaying strong leadership qualities more than the class of 1967's Mike Jackson. Mike deservedly joins his fellow teammates Bill Kelly, Jim Kiley, George Watkins, John Doherty, and Gino Serecchia in the RMHS Athletic Hall of Fame. Mike was a 3-year varsity member in football, basketball, and baseball. In his senior year, he was co-captain of the basketball team and captain of the baseball team. During his 9 varsity seasons in the 3 sports combined, Mike was a major contributor to teams that racked up 6 Middlesex League titles, along with 2 Eastern Mass Class A baseball finals and an appearance in the semifinals in Class B in basketball's Tech Tourney. Outside of the playing fields, Jackson achieved the same level of leadership and excellence in his involvement in the school community. He was class president for 2 years and representative to the Boys State Conference while graduating in the top 10% of his class. He was simply described in the class yearbook as Mr. Everything. Jackson was a 2-year starter on the powerhouse football teams of 1964 through 1966, which had a combined record of 23 wins and 2 losses, and won 2 Middlesex League titles. Jackson had a sturdy build at 5'8" and 175 pounds, and served as a fullback blocking for quarterback Bill Kelly, along with contributing as a cornerback on the defensive side of the ball. Though injuries limited his playing time throughout the 3 years, when he was healthy, he was a standout on the field. In his senior year, Jackson returned from a torn meniscus to play his final game on Thanksgiving Day. Mike earned MVP honors from the local scribes by being what his coach John Hollingsworth described as the best player on the field. Jackson ran the ball for 85 yards on just 9 carries, and defensively, he made the biggest play of the day. With Stoneham threatening to tie the score late in the title-deciding game, on a 4th down from the Rockets' 1-yard line, it was Jackson who came up from the defensive backfield and dropped the Spartan runner for a 2-yard loss to help Reading wrap up the win and the league title. In the winter season, Mike was the floor leader from his guard position on basketball teams that progressively topped their prior year records, culminating in a semifinal appearance in the very competitive and renowned postseason tournament known as the Tech Tourney. The 67 team was arguably the most accomplished quintet that Reading boys basketball has ever put on the hardwood, and the first Rocket squad to advance to the Class B semifinals in 20 years. Along the way, the team went 19-4 with only 1 league loss and defeated 2 of the premier basketball programs in the state in Melrose and Lexington. Lexington was coached by Rolly Massimino, who would go on to win an NCAA championship at Villanova, and Melrose was coached by former Celtics assistant from the 70s, John Killalay. Reading High first-year coach Bruce McGregor noted that his senior co-captain ran the team's offense while leading the team in assists by feeding top scorers such as Bill Carroll, Bill Kelly, and George Watkins. And according to McGregor, Jackson possessed a driving ability like no one else in the Middlesex League. Those drives to the basket enabled Mike to lead the team in scoring from the free throw line in his senior year. In the league title clinching win in front of a large and raucous visiting crowd from Reading at Lexington's court, Jackson played on a sprained ankle, but according to the Chronicle, scored on 2 spectacular drives to the hoop, which had been his signature all season. In the Tech Tourney, after advancing past Lexington, Reading bested Boston City Power Cathedral by a score of 66-58, in which the Lawrence Eagle Tribune noted, "A grand display of ball handling by the Reading co-captain." After competing all year in other sports, in the spring, Jackson took his excellence to another level on the baseball diamond. Always in the middle of the action, it was no surprise that Jackson's position of choice was catcher, where he was dubbed the Iron Duke by the Reading Chronicle. The stocky Jackson not only was the field general perched behind the plate, but offensively batted in the 3rd position, combining to hit for both power and average. In his sophomore year, he was the starting catcher on the Eastern Mass finalist, hitting over 300. In the Eastern Mass semifinals, Jackson had 3 hits in a win over Malden Catholic prior to the team's tough late-inning 6-5 loss to Somerville in the finals. Jackson had an outstanding junior season as he batted .351 with 8 RBI in the regular season and had several standout moments. In a mid-season win over Stoneham that boosted Reading's record to 7-1, Jackson hit a 350-foot home run to left field off Stoneham righty Steve Andrick, which was the first ball ever hit over that section of fence at the 3-year-old Reading High School field. In the Eastern Mass Tournament quarterfinal game versus Lexington, Jackson's one-out triple to deep left center field in the 6th inning was a key hit, and he eventually scored the winning run on a wild pitch in a 2-1 victory. After a semifinal win over Lawrence Central, the Rockets advanced to the Class A finals in the Eastern Massachusetts Tournament for the 2nd straight year. In the finals versus Braintree, it was Jackson's defense that helped keep Reading within a run. Jackson thwarted Braintree threats in the 2nd and 3rd innings by throwing out runners attempting to steal, and then late in the game, he stood his ground at home plate, tagging out a runner attempting to score on a throw from Bill Carroll, keeping the deficit at 1-0 before Reading eventually went down to defeat, losing to Weymouth. As a senior, Mike hit .330 and led the team in extra base hits and home runs. However, this year, the team could not get past the 2nd round of the tournament, losing to Weymouth. In Mike's 3 years as the starting catcher, the team won the league title and made the state tournament in all 3 and reached the Class A Eastern Mass Finals twice. Jackson was named to the All-League team in both his junior and senior seasons. Mike was also honored by the Lawrence Eagle Tribune as the recipient of the Fred B. Cole Award for contribution to the game of baseball. The summer after graduation, Jackson moved right from Reading High to be the starting catcher for Reading's entry in the Carlings Intercity League, which was at the time full of older former professional players and considered one of the finest semi-pro baseball leagues in the country. On a team flush with former and future pros, Jackson was a force as an 18-year-old on a team that won their first and only championship that summer, with both Jackson and his high school teammate Bill Kelly playing key roles. Jackson was described in an article from the Reading Chronicle as the young spark plug of the team, both offensively and defensively, in the Townies championship run. Mike attended Bowdoin College, where he was one of only 32 students at the school to be awarded Bowdoin College's alumni-funded scholarship, which was selected by the college's faculty. At Bowdoin, he continued his athletic passion as a 4-year member of both the football and baseball teams. As a freshman running back, he was named top running back in the program and part of a team in his senior year that was 1 point short of an undefeated season. Presently, Mike is self-employed, working in medical instrument distribution. He is still passionate about athletics, competing in triathlons and cycling around the country with his brother Jim. Mike has been married for 32 years to his wife Karen, and they live in Ithaca, New York. They have 3 grown children, Ben, Sarah, and Hannah, all living and working in the Boston area. So it is with great pride that the RMHS Athletic Hall of Fame inducts Mike Jackson into the class of 2013.